All right, welcome back. Brewers Weekly, Dominic Cotroneo with you. Please be joined by Garrett Mitchell right now here in spring training. Dude, we already got a week to go. It's coming fast on us. How has this camp gone for you, being healthy again, and what are you taking away from it so far?
It's been great camp so far. Just really taking each day, one day at a time. Been a lot of good stuff. Things to obviously work on, of course, but I feel like I'm in a really good spot getting ready to go into the season.
When you compare how you're feeling now with your body to when you were coming back at the very end of last season with the labrum and everything, how different has it felt to, I know it wasn't quite 100% when you were returning at the end of your trying to make the postseason roster versus what you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I want to say it's like night and day, but it's like there's been a lot more time, going into the off season healthy to where like I feel solid. Like I don't feel anything with the shoulder anymore.
And how excited are you for this new obstruction rule now for a guy that steals bases and knowing that a shortstop or second baseman can't put their knee down in front of you anymore?
It's nice to hear. I wish it was there last year.
I think people, we see a stolen base and we see a guy, you dive head first and, it's that simple, right? There's more to it, right? This is a huge deal for guys like you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think like now that there's no one being able to really block our path going into the base, it's important. But I think more than anything, it's just about keeping players like safe and healthy, and that's I think a simple way to be able to do so. I don't feel like obviously it's a change and it's going to be something that guys will have to get used to if they're not used to it. But I don't think it's really one of those things that is going to be that hard, for infielders to really not be right in front of the base and put a knee down. But I mean, like I said, that's me speaking about it. I'm not an infielder, but.
I'm looking at your locker mates here, and you've got some really talented outfielders all around you. And this is obviously only 3 can play at a time. What's it like with the healthy competition with your teammates, trying to figure out who's going to be getting the majority of playing time and that sort of thing?
I mean, truth be told, I've never cared much for looking too deep into that. I mean, you only can really control your own destiny. So when it comes to going out there and competing and doing stuff, it's just going out there and playing. So I don't spend too much time thinking about what that looks like because I don't make those decisions, of course. But I think the healthy competition is important. I think for all of us it's good, and we're all close too. So I think we're all out there having fun, having a good time, but also going out there and competing.
As we're at the very end of camp here, at bats wise, offensively wise, what does it take for you to feel ready? Do you feel is there any indicators that say all right, I'm seeing this, I'm identifying spin? What are the things that work for you to say, all right, let's get the season going? I
mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to always feel good. We know that to be the case. You're not going to go out there and feel good every single day. But I think especially getting towards the end of camp and getting into the season, we're building up innings, we're just being out there on the field. So I think for me, when I'm looking at it from a whole perspective, it would be more okay, I'm feeling solid, feeling good, feeling healthy. I'm playing 7-8 innings. I could play a 9th one. I feel solid. For at bats specifically, I would say I've been feeling good for this past week or so. So I would say now going forward, I'm pretty much prepared to go now. If we were to say opening day's tomorrow. But other than that, I would say about this time, this is kind of that week where kind of get the last of everything out, work on the things that we've been trying to work on the backfield, just really putting everything together right before going into the regular season. So, but to answer your question, yes, I feel ready to go now.
Way to circle it back around there. That's some media pro training right there. So let me give you a hard one. Let's be blunt. I want to see you on the field, man. So what's it take? How do you feel health-wise? It sucks to be injured, and we all know that. How does that weigh on you mentally, and how excited are you to try to just make it through a season?
Yeah, well, I mean, the injury itself is in the past now. I mean, it's just unfortunate, what had happened. It's a freak accident. So the way I look at that is it just was really unfortunate. But going into this season, I'm not worried about it anymore. I've already kind of passed all of those questions. I've also answered all of those questions about, the injury itself. So I'm just ready to go. Be out there every single day. That's the most important thing. That's my priority. So when I look at goals for the year, my goal is just to be available every day. So
let's end it on a lighter note though as well. Give me some Japan tips, man. I know you had one heck of a trip this past off season. What were your highlights of it, and how much did you enjoy going to see a new culture?
I mean, so I've never left the country before. So for that being the first place I've ever gone, I would have thought it'd been a little bit more of a culture shock. But to be honest, Now, of course, not everyone spoke like either English or spoke great English, but the being able to communicate with people wasn't horrible, and so that was nice. Like going to a place where it wasn't like super hard to like ask questions or get from one place to another. But man, it was such a fun trip. I mean, from all the great food to all the just great history that's there. Like just, I was walking 11 miles a day. Like, and I mean, I felt like I was just on this like emotional high, just being out there and being able to hang out with my wife and some family and go and do that. So I would recommend it to anyone. If you have not been, go. Well worth it.
Any sushi recs, or are we doing Japanese street food? What stands out on the food side?
So for me, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the sushi, but the way I think we think about sushi, Americanized sushi, is we have all these different sauces and all these different things, and there is just more traditional. So from a sushi perspective, I was like in the middle about it. It wasn't like amazing, it wasn't horrible. I just like didn't have, I wouldn't say I had enough experiences. Like I didn't have it that many times. I had a lot of ramen. I probably went to like 10 or 12 ramen spots. I was really intrigued by that. I wanted to see, what was good and what was bad, but they're all pretty good. So from a food perspective, I mean, put it this way, I was eating as much as I was walking. So like, I feel like it would be like eat, walk a couple miles, get to another place, eat again. The street food was really good though. Like they have, it was so good. I had a lot of like Wagyu and Kobe beef where they just kind of make it on the side. It's really quick, done in a few minutes, but man, it was so good. So, and especially like with how expensive it is here, like in the States, like to be able to eat like a bigger quantity of it there was awesome.
It's perfect for a growing boy, professional athlete, man. Appreciate the time, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Garrett Mitchell here on WTMJ. Thanks for your time.